When the colony of British Columbia was founded in 1858, the capital was New Westminster. One of its early inhabitants, Englishman H.J. Brewer, looked out across the Fraser River to see a land that reminded him of his home in Surrey, England, and thus the settlement of Surrey, BC, was named. The Surrey area attracted new residents quickly, and in 1879, local residents gathered to discuss the founding of a municipality and to elect the first town council. At the time, there were only 35 eligible voters. In 1881, the first town hall, now at the Museum of Surrey, was built. It is now the oldest remaining wooden town hall in British Columbia.
When they first started meeting with the Surrey Council, they met at the home of Thomas Shannon. Mr. Shannon was the first warden of Surrey because the municipality had not been incorporated yet. Thomas Shannon needed to have an address, and he looked out the window and he saw all this wild clover growing, so they called it Clover Valley, and that became known as Cloverdale. So the first council meetings were held in the Shannon home for 1 year until 1881, when they finally had some funding to build a town hall. The land for the town hall was donated by an Abraham Huck. He had come from Kansas. He got a large tract of land at Surrey Center. He was a general merchant, postmaster, as well as a blacksmith, and he gave some land for the town hall and the fairgrounds.
In the early years, Surrey Center was much further south, near the junction of McClellan Road and Coast Meridian Road, close to Cloverdale.
Surrey Center was chosen because getting from Ladner to Langley, you came along the McClellan Road, named after the surveyor, Mr. McClellan. But when they came to the Serpentine River, they found that the land was flooded, so they had to come up over the hill, thereby arriving at the geographical center of Surrey.
Early mayors of Surrey were called reeves. One of the earliest reeves was Henry Bowes, who led city council from 1905 to 1909.
My grandfather was Henry Bowes. He arrived here in 1888, settled at the property on Bowes Road, the Bowes Farm, in 1890. He was a member of the Surrey Council, and also he served as the mayor of Surrey. The town hall actually was a gathering place as well as the House of Administration. That's where the first Surrey Fair started. So all the community pioneers came to the town hall, a gathering place where they could socialize, do their municipal business, and present their exhibits at the fair.
While the town council mostly dealt with standard municipal business, the little town hall in Surrey got the attention of the federal government when the city council decided to negotiate the building of a railroad. In the 1880s, the CPR was planning its westward route, and the cities of Surrey and New Westminster lobbied for the rail lines. After the CPR chose Port Moody as its terminus, the city's hopes of a rail line were lost, as the federal government's contract with the CPR forbade the construction of competing lines for 25 years. Desiring a train line connecting Greater Vancouver to the United States, the province gave Surrey the green light. Despite opposition from the federal government, Surrey's municipal council negotiated a contract with the Great Northern Railway, and by 1891, the New Westminster and Southern Railway was completed. The arrival of the train brought thousands of new settlers into Surrey, and with a station built in Cloverdale, a new town centre was established. By 1910, the City Council voted to build a new municipal hall, which was completed in 1912.
Well, when the 1881 town hall was deemed not suitable for municipal administration and the town centre of Cloverdale was established, everything moved down to Cloverdale. That's where the railroad was. That's where the new municipal hall was built. They had all the municipal administration services, including the Surrey Police Force, the courthouse, everything was in there. They even had a jail in the basement of the hall. My grandfather was the magistrate of Surrey, right here in this very building that you're looking at, which is now the Surrey Archives.
While the 1881 town hall was no longer used for municipal business, it continued to function as a community hall. In 1938, a group including Henry Bowes and other Surrey pioneers decided to move the old town hall to the Cloverdale Fairgrounds, where it would be opened as a museum.
Well, it's been a long time since the 1881 town hall came down here to Cloverdale, and they built around it, turned it into a museum. That's where I worked for several years as a volunteer docent, giving guided tours through that museum until they opened up the new museum, which we of course have down here in Cloverdale. Since then, it has been a senior center and lately turned over for the use of the British Columbia Vintage Truck Museum Society. And we thought it was going to stay there forever, but the city administration feel that it's a wise move to have it moved over to the Museum of Surrey, where of course we have the Annandale School and the Anderson Cabin, and now we will have the 1881 Town Hall. And that will be moved tonight, so put that down in the history books, November 7th, 2018, the moving of the 1881 Town Hall down to the Museum of Surrey.
Thanks to the Surrey Heritage Advisory Commission and city staff, British Columbia's oldest remaining wooden town hall has been preserved as a legacy of Surrey's founders. The 1881 town hall, in its new home at the Museum of Surrey, is a symbol of Surrey's proud democratic history, development, and political involvement.